Welcome to the Middle Ground Podcast. I'm your host, Ohio Divided, with my brain dead co host, Michigan Metal. What's going on, Metal? Here we are.
Hello, everybody. I'm ready for all your dumbass brain dead takes and have some fun with some sports and everything else in the world.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. We have kind of joked around and talked about doing a podcast for what? Probably a few months to this point, and kind of just joked about it at first. I think you kind of hit me up. I had posted something about how I wanted to start a podcast to make it easier to basically give my takes on things. I think at that point you had hit me up, and then we kind of joked about it for a while. And basically, I went to you and said, "I don't know what the hell I'm doing," and you were like, "Hey, I've ran a podcast before, so I kind of know what I'm doing to an extent." So we decided to come together, and here we are, May 30th, 2025.
So
First
let it be
episode.
written. So let it be written. So let it be done. That's what it is, dude. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about asking you to start a podcast before you made that post about. I'm actually thinking about starting a
Are
podcast.
my takes that good?
Well, I mean, I think
Are my
how
takes
we.
just that good?
I mean, yeah, they're pretty good takes, besides shitting on Michigan and all that stuff. But 13-10. But I think when I first started talking to you, and I think it was about the playoff expansion to a 24 team format or a 16 team format. I kind of knew. I was like, wow, this guy's actually pretty cool. He's not a douchebag. He's not. He's not someone who comes in just throws ad hominems to go kill yourself, fucking, some other insult that I get told basically on a daily basis. But yeah, I was intrigued, and I was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be really cool to have a podcast with a Michigan and Ohio State perspective, two sides of the coin, basically the yin and the yang coming together, and talking about sports and other tismy stuff and other pop cultural things that are just currently happening throughout the world. So yeah, here we are, the first episode of The Middle Ground.
So tell me, you're from Ohio, right? I find it kind of comical that it seems like Michigan comes and gets their best people from Ohio. I mean, you're not the only one, right?
Yeah, where I'm from is where Jim Harbaugh and Urban Meyer were born at. So that's pretty interesting. Toledo, Ohio. Yeah, which I know that's not too
Two
that's not too
legends.
far. Yeah, two legends, right? Two legends for Ohio State and Michigan. Uh, it's not too far from where you're at, right? I think it's a couple hours,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, a couple hours north of where I'm from. Yeah, very. I have family from around the Toledo area, so pretty familiar with the Toledo area and kind of familiar with that there's a big Michigan following up in that
Oh
area.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
I always just have to give you shit that yeah, Michigan has to come to Ohio to find their best people. So unless Bryce Underwood can make a name for himself, he might be the first homegrown guy you guys have actually had.
we'll see. Either he's gonna be great or he's gonna be Joel Milton. So there we go with that one. Hopefully, I get a couple unfollows for that comment right there. But yeah, then growing
Well,
up,
I'll
Michigan,
unfollow
growing up, Michigan, Ohio State has been always a big factor in my life. I remember watching the game on game day, and if Ohio State won, there'd be Ohio State fans literally driving around in fucking red pickup trucks with the Ohio State flag, and I'm like, wow, what a bunch of assholes, and good for them. You know what I mean? It's just you have
you.
the
Yeah,
ultimate
yeah.
bragging rights for the entire year until the next game, and it is just something that I grew up with. My wife and her family, they're from here in Chicago, where I currently live right now, and they before my wife met me, they didn't watch any college football at all. They just knew about Notre Dame and Fighting Illini and Northwestern, but
Yeah.
they didn't really give a shit. But now they're diehard Michigan fans, they got to enjoy the best years of Michigan football in the past 4 years, so kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
man.
I mean, in my life, I mean, this is the best 4 years I've ever seen from Michigan. I mean, I'm pretty similar to you. Grew up like an Ohio State fan. I would also call myself an equally as amount of Reds or Bengals fan. Um,
That's good
I
teams,
think
man.
as I kind of started, and yeah, great teams, great franchises, perfect franchises. Every franchise should model themselves after. Um, but no, I mean, I would say I'm a bit of a Red and Bengals as I am an Ohio State fan. I would say like I like them all the same.
Yeah.
Just whenever I kind of created and started engaging a lot more on X, I mean, Ohio State brand is just so fucking big. Like that's just what kind of took off. So it seems like anytime I post about Ohio State, or that's kind of ultimately what has driven kind of my growth on Twitter, is just posting a lot about Ohio State. I mean, during the football season, that's definitely when my account gets the most engagement. I've never, um, just a lot of things are happening. Definitely try to grow a little bit more in the Reds and Bengals space, but I mean, you just don't have the national presence with the Reds and the Bengals that you do Ohio State. And then,
Oh no.
I
Yeah.
mean, when they're troll Michigan, I mean, you're basically tapping in to a whole nother national brand. So kind of the best of both worlds. You troll Michigan, post Ohio State, you piss off Michigan fans. Ohio State fans like the shit that you post. So it's definitely helped a lot and kind of just growing. I mean, I think I started my account back in like July of 2023. Um, so back when I was in college, I don't know if you're familiar with like PBR Ohio. It's a scouting. It's basically 247, but for like Ohio high school baseball, or not just Ohio, but high school baseball.
Okay.
Um, anyways, I spent a couple summers as like an internship, basically running their Twitter account, and it got to the point it was like 2 years, basically 2 summers, I guess I should say, basically running your account where I learned like how to like post things, like how to get people to interact with your shit. I was like, I don't do anything with that. So I'm gonna make some random stupid fucking Twitter account and see where it goes. And here we are later doing a podcast with some random fucking Michigan brain dead from Chicago. So that's where it's brought me today.
Yeah. I mean, um, I think like when I first started my Twitter account, I think I started back in 2015, and I originally like wanted to do like video game streaming, like streaming just like random video games like Battlefield or Call of Duty or like specifically Halo. And then
Yeah.
I got into like with some friends into like the media criticism, like mainly like film and TV critics, like reviewing like to find like the good and bad, like the objective and subjective like viewpoints of writing. And I watched like this podcast named EFAP, which is like basically a podcast that talks about the objectivity of writing and stuff, right? And I tried that, and I realized it just really wasn't working out for me. I just noticed that like I wasn't in enjoying it as much. I mean, I love like shitting on things a lot. Like it's fun to shit on stuff and find the good and bad and things. Like I fucking hate Star Wars now. Like it sucks so bad. But I've always loved sports and like Michigan football and everything outside of it, like the Red Sox, Seahawks, Blackhawks. And I'm like, wow, like maybe I should like go towards this route and see if it works for me. And it's working, quite well. Like I feel like I've kind of like grown, and like I noticed that like you've grown a lot, especially as a Twitter account. And like this every day is just like the fight to defend Michigan football and like the sign stealing and shit against like every other fucking idiot on Twitter. But yeah, I mean it's going pretty well, and I'm super fucking stoked to be here, and I definitely can't wait to talk about the different aspects of college football and Ohio State and Michigan and so on and so forth, bro. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like this is definitely going to be an Ohio State and Michigan type of show. But we're going to talk about anything and everything. I mean,
Oh yeah.
any other sports that are going on. I mean, just basically current events. Basically shit. Like our goal is to have a conversation about shit that the normal person talks about and enjoys listening to.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and get it started.
Dude, did you have actually have a great like Memorial Day weekend? Did you did you enjoy a Coors Latte for those who, fallen? Well, when they made the ultimate
I did.
sacrifice.
I
It's
did.
good.
So yeah, it was a good weekend. I took Friday off work, got a bunch of yard work done around the house. Always got to get that shit done. Played some beer league softball this weekend. Um, had a my wife's cousin's graduation party on Sunday where I drank plenty of beer. Felt like absolute shit on Monday. Had some more yard work to do, and that made that pretty brutal. Um, but I mean, I think like obviously. I thanks to any veteran, thanks to any current military member. I mean, none of this would be possible. Our lives wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for those people today. So that's definitely what that day is for, and to remember those type of people. But in terms of going back to work after Memorial Day, like Tuesday, I was just waxed. Like the whole day, from the second I woke up to the second I went to bed that night, like I was just dead. Um, but yeah, I mean, always a good weekend. It seems like you always find a few beers to drink on a long weekend like that, and I
Oh
definitely had
yeah.
my plenty. So, how about you? How was your weekend?
Dude, it was Friday. I got back from Seattle on my work trip up in Whidbey Island, and then came back. Saw my kid. For the first time in like a week, which was pretty awesome, and my wife too. Sorry if you're listening, babe. Um, so I went and helped out my father-in-law move some sand because he's putting in turf in his backyard, and we moved around like 6,500 pounds of sand from Menards to the backyard, and I was fucking dead.
Jesus.
Yeah, it took like 7 hours, and we did all that. Like originally we bought 150 bags of sand, and we didn't have enough, and it was like a 15 by like 25 area. Um, and then her dad was like, "Oh God, I guess we gotta go get 50 more bags." I'm like, "Fuck off!" Like my arms are literally just like
Are you
stiff.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, yeah. So we went back, and I was like starting to regret volunteering myself. It's like I kind of felt like I was in the Navy again, which is like the acronym stands for Never Again Volunteer Yourself. And like I'm just sitting there driving a truck back to Menards, and then to grab another 50 bags, put it in the back of the truck, and then go back, unload those 50 bags. Like I was fucking dead, dude. Like I'm sure like you doing like yard work after like you're hungover as shit, like that sucks. And then like just doing this like for fucking 8 hours out of the day, I'm like, dude, this blows ass. But it turned out looking pretty well. It looked pretty good, like turf. So he never has to cut his grass again in the backyard, except
That's good shit.
yeah. But
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
it sucked trimming bushes. Don't get me wrong, being hungover as fuck. But I mean, I definitely would take that over carrying a bunch of bags of sand.
Oh yeah, dude. I've grown to like loathe sand now, like so fucking much. Like I'm gonna go to the Lakeshore fucking Montrose Beach, which is a beach in Chicago, and then I'm gonna get fucking PTSD just looking at all the different sand, just sitting there. But yeah, it was a good time. It
There's
was a lot of
sand.
fun.
There's a beach in Chicago.
Yeah,
I
you
thought it
have
only snowed up there.
yeah, nah, man. You get beaches, you get gunshots, you get all the different stuff up here.
I was going to say, I thought it only snowed and there was gunshots.
Yeah, snowed, gunshots, homeless people, all the above. But yeah, I think there's four beaches. Like you got North Avenue, Montrose, Belmont.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different beaches. Yeah, it's nice, man. It's a good time.
Oh
Just gotta
yeah.
wear a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been to Chicago a few times. It's a sweet city. Like I've enjoyed my time there. But yeah, that's kind of the rap it has today. But I mean, obviously, there's a negative everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've always enjoyed my time in Chicago. I think I've been there 3 or 4 times, and there's a Nike store there. What is it on Michigan Avenue?
Yes,
That
yeah.
thing is like
It's
that thing is
huge.
like heaven. That thing is cool as fuck. So I was in like seventh and eighth grade whenever like the Nike Elite socks were like a big thing.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know, with
remember
the
those.
Nike socks with like the thing that goes up the back. I
Yeah.
remember there was like one of the floors, like you go in and it was just one massive wall full of Nike Elite socks. And I was like, I want every single pair of those. And it's like, oh, yeah, they're only $40 a pop. So I
Only
think I
40
left with
bucks.
like one pair. But yeah. No, that place is cool as fuck though. That place
How
is
long
really cool.
how long did those socks last you?
Few years probably.
Holy
I think
shit.
as I got into high school, I think as I got into high school, I ended up getting newer ones. But yeah, they
Yeah.
usually lasted. I'd say like two years was probably what I got out of them.
Dude, that's crazy. $40 for a pair of socks. Like, did they walk
Fuck
for you?
yeah, I think pretty much they made more shots going. I think when I played basketball, but
A little bit of motivation from the Nike socks.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, speaking of basketball, I saw this on X the other day. And shockingly enough, Elon, figure your shit out. Your app is down again. This is like an everyday fucking thing at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking. It's
Anyways,
unbearable.
anyways, I saw this on X the other day and I thought it was honestly pretty wild. Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark in terms of Instagram followers. Never in a million years, never in a million years did I ever think that Angel Reese would have more followers than Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is
What?
at 4.9 million. Caitlin Clark's at 3.2. It's just like it's I know that they're both extremely popular, but I would have thought that they either would have had about the same amount of followers or Caitlin would have had more. They both kind of came onto the scene at the same time and whatnot, but I mean, Caitlin is clearly like in the news more, I would say. Clearly the better basketball player, but I found that pretty interesting. I did not think that that's how that would be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand the metrics of that. Like, why Angel Reese has so much more Instagram followers than Caitlin Clark. That like doesn't make any sense at all. Like, Caitlin Clark is like the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Like, she is the
Yeah,
messiah of the WNBA. Like, she is
yeah,
saving the WNBA. Angel Reese is fucking horrible. Like, she
yeah,
literally stat farms her rebounds by just shooting brick, rebound, shooting brick, rebound, shooting brick, rebound. Like, I
yeah.
just I can't I
She's
don't get it.
Angel Reese is physically hard as shit to stop. Like she's strong and she's tall. Like
Yeah,
she's there's a reason. I mean, yeah, she throws up a lot of bricks, gets her own rebounds, throws up a lot of bricks, but she does that because she's just so physically dominant compared to the next girl. But in
yeah.
terms of just like dribbling, shooting, like skilled basketball wise, I mean, Kate obviously they play both two different style games, but Caitlin Clark is by far the better player.
Oh yeah.
Just in all aspects of the game.
Dude, some of the like just like the like what 55 footers that like she made 60 footers, like she's shooting as far as like Steph shoots. Like sometimes.
Dude, she gives people a reason to watch women's basketball.
Oh
She is
yeah.
Steph Curry 2.0, and she's absolutely fantastic. I mean, Angel Reese does deserve credit though. I mean, she's played a part. She's kind of played the villain part and like what has grown the WNBA into what it is today. And I mean, she's a good player. Like she's a good WNBA player. I mean, she's had how many different double doubles? I mean, she had a really good college career, obviously won a national championship and whatnot. But I
Yeah.
mean, when you talk about basketball skill, it's Caitlin Clark all the way through. But I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know, just in terms of who would have more followers, I that surprised me. I did not think that Angel Reese would have more than Caitlin Clark,
It's
especially 1.7 million more.
yeah, like that doesn't make any sense. And like a point to make, like Angel Reese has like said that where she doesn't understand why she feels like she's the villain or like she gets all the hate in by like the fans and stuff, you know, in the WNBA community. And I'm like, dude, like you literally like you said it yourself, like you're the villain. Like you were gonna make yourself the villain. Like you're the Dennis Rodman. And then people want to make the comparison of like this is like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, you know. And I'm like, bro, no, it's not. Like Caitlin Clark is like on leagues levels better than Angel Reese. Like it's not even they're
Caitlin
not even the
Clark
same like platform at all or plateau.
I mean, Caitlin Clark legitimately gives you a reason to sit down and
Yeah,
watch a WNBA game and be entertained. And she like it's her threes and stuff that she makes are awesome, but like the way that she sees the floor and just like some of like the just some of the passes that she has
yeah.
and just that she just sees things developing before like anybody else on screen sees it. Like I think she's as good of a passer as she is at like that might be the best part of her game.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, dude, some of her assists that she makes are fucking phenomenal. Like, dude, she's literally like a game manager, and like she can also play point to where like she can carry the Fever. She can carry that entire team. It's crazy how good she is and how revolutionary she is for WNBA. And like just the amount of people that have like shown up for like Indiana Fever is pretty awesome. You know, coming out and
Yeah.
support. Because before Caitlin Clark,
Hey, I will say she did
hello?
yeah, I think we started breaking up a little bit there. But
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. But I was just gonna say she like Caitlin Clark, I mean, she literally set the single season WNBA assist record in her rookie season last year. So take that for what it's worth.
What was the record? It was uh
She
three
had 337 assists. And I think that 317 was the record.
oh it says 321, I think.
321 was the record, and she ended with
No,
337.
nope, 337. Fucking AI. Yeah. 337, and then the second one was Alyssa Thomas with 317, and she had third place for 316. And then fourth place was
Okay.
Courtney Vandersloot with 314. That's crazy. Her rookie year.
Yeah, that's not going to be the first time she'll break that record. I guarantee that.
Oh no, I definitely agree with you on that. She is
Yeah.
fantastic. So I heard about the Maria Stein church that burned down. Isn't that where you got married at?
Yeah, I know that a lot of people that I know they've gotten married in the same church. But yeah, I mean, just tragic and devastating. Obviously, I think the pictures there on the screen, as you can see, like basically the church completely is burned down. I mean, the steeple fell down and everything. You could probably go on social media and just search Maria Stein Church and find a video of the steeple and everything falling down. But
Oh
yeah, I
wow.
think yesterday afternoon, it sounds like they had some contractors doing some work on the roof. Um, I'm not sure what happened, but
Yeah.
fire started and basically like the church is like burned down. Um, I mean, you have to feel for the people of the community. Like that's a lot of years and everything that people put into that, and I've gone there, had a lot of different things with family and friends there. Um, but at the same point, like I really feel for that like contractor. I mean, that dude had no intentions of anything happening, and he's up there just or that crew is just up there doing their job. And I mean, it just another example to show that shit can go sideways so quick. Um, but I
Was it a
kind of feel for
chemical
the
fire?
contractor as much as anything. I I heard that they were no, I think it was something they were doing some work with copper or something on the roof.
Oh.
Cutting copper or something maybe. I
Oh, I
again
see.
don't quote me on that, but yeah, I mean completely devastating. I mean prayers to the people of Maria Stein. It's definitely pretty sad, and I know that a lot of people from that area are probably feeling it a little bit today, but I mean I know that area pretty well. Those people are going to rally. I'm sure that they're going to have something good come out of this. It's a very tight knit community. A lot of really good people that live there. I think that everybody there will rally together and build probably one of the most impressive churches in the entire state. So yeah.
How old is that church? It's got to be like probably over 100 years old, right?
Oh, dude, I think it's from the 1800s.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
is
it's been generations and generations of people that have been there, gone there, and everything. And Yeah, I mean that picture that's on the screen, basically all of the roofing down to the brick, and including the steeple, is like gone, just completely gone. And you can, like I said, you can go on social media and find videos and pictures, and they actually sent drones down into the church, and like everything is just like smoldered.
Like after the
But
fire, like slow down, they sent drones in. That's
yeah, yeah, yep, yep.
wow.
So
I think there's
yeah, I mean,
I got an image right here. Actually, I can pull up. It looks wow, pretty sad, honestly.
we
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. I think I got a text at one point during the day yesterday that was basically like the church is on fire, and then I saw a bunch of pictures and videos and stuff come rolling in, and it's like, holy crap. But yeah, that's where you can kind of see down into the church and everything. Like I mean, it's sad. It's a lot of years, a lot of memories and everything that went into that church, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure they'll rebuild it. Like luckily, like I can see like a lot of like the structure is still standing.
yeah.
So
No,
maybe
I
not the
think that's I mean that community is definitely going to come together and do something to put something together. I
yeah.
try to look at it in a positive lens. I mean, yeah, it's sad that it burnt down. Thankfully, nothing happened to anybody. But there's not a doubt in my mind that that's a very like passionate community and everything, and that's going to get rebuilt and probably even better than what it was before. But
Dude,
yeah,
look at the
definitely
spire.
very sad.
Like the spire is like still on fire. Like
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
crazy image.
you should see the video. We should have had the video pulled up for when the steeple fell, but I've seen it on like Facebook and stuff, and it's crazy. Like it just starts leaning, the whole steeple just comes down and just goes everywhere on the ground.
Oh man, dude, that's wild. That sucks though, for especially like the people to the right that what it looks like maybe like a community like the church home or like maybe someone lives
Yeah,
there.
I think it's a priest house.
Yeah, because it's
So,
a like a what a Catholic church or like a Lutheran.
yep, Catholic church. Yep.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. That's unfortunate though, man.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things that 50 years from now it's going to be like I remember where I was and what I was doing whenever I found out about the church burning down. It's literally one of those things.
It's like you can tell your kids that. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And then I went on a podcast and I went and talked about
Yeah, my podcast started literally the day after that happened.
it. So, did you hear about Zion? About the
I,
sexual, emotional, and financial abuse that's going on?
I saw I saw something about that shit. I mean, that dude, from the second he left Duke, it's been just not dumpster fire, but it has just been like underwhelming. I know I have a buddy, he is like hell bent that Zion is like one of the best players in the league when he plays, but that's also the argument that it's like when he plays. I
He
mean,
never plays.
he's obviously yeah, he's obviously a freak of nature when he's out there on the court. Like he just jumps really high. He's just an athletic freak of nature. But I mean, the dude can't stay healthy, and now like this, I mean, do you know many of the details that went into this? I only saw a couple posts about it, and that was about it.
So, according to Michael C. Wright from ESPN, which came out around 14:58 or 2:58 p.m., a woman has accused New Orleans Pelicans forward Zion Williamson of rape, in addition to sexual, physical, emotional, and financial abuse over the span of a multi-year relationship, according to the lawsuit submitted to Los Angeles Superior Court on Thursday. So the woman has identified herself as Jane Doe, and not only, um,
What a name.
yeah, right, Jane Doe. Not only is she, accusing Zion of sexual and physical abuse, but also rape and emotional and financial abuse, which is wow, that's crazy. And it's a 12-page civil complaint, according to ESPN. That there was two incidents that started in 2020, which the incidents were rape, and then this happened in Beverly Hills, California. So I guess the women told Williamson she was tired and wanted to go to sleep, but Williamson told her she could not go to sleep without having sex with him. So I guess he then, further on, pinned her down with her hands behind her back, raped her, and then the filing added that Williamson threw the woman's phone across the room afterward and choked her. And then the second rape happened in October 2020, also in Beverly Hills. The woman says that she was violently raped after expressing plans to visit a friend in San Diego. In both instances, the women accused Williamson of taking her phone for a period of time. Yeah, so it just seems like a lot. Like, you know, it's like one of those things. Like we have, you know, someone who is being accused of, you know, sexual a sexual crime, and then, you know, also which is emotional and physical and financial abuse. So again, this is like another like a basketball player or like an athletic star, because we had Justin Tucker recently, who just got cut from the Ravens for for fun time with the massage therapist, and then the same thing with what's his face from the Browns,
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson,
Mr. Fully Guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, if this is to be true, then wow, like damn you, Zion, that's terrible. I think this is kind of one of those things, I guess, that we have, evidence going against Zion Williamson. So kind of just go forward from there and just see what happens. Which is a terrible act, like rape twice, and then also emotional and physical abuse and financial abuse. It's freaking horrible, man. If this is to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I hope to God it's not true.
Yeah.
If he is, like, fuck Zion, he's a fucking piece of shit. Like, there's no place for that, obviously, in today's world or any world.
Not at all.
But castrated. No, fuck him. If that's true, he deserves to go and rot in jail forever. That's my stance on it. But see what all comes out. But I mean, that sounds really bad on the surface. So.
Oh yeah, that's horrible, man. Wow, it's fucking terrible. So
brutal.
I think kind of what we wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to bring this up right meow, is Ohio State sports schedule. Kind of talk about, the big upcoming game that we got on August 30th on Big Noon. And I know a lot of
Big Noon kickoff, baby.
Yeah, I know a lot of you Ohio State fans are loving that. Loving that you guys are going to see, a supposedly primetime game being launched at or kicked off at noon instead of 7:30. And I know Texas fans are probably extremely happy about that too, actually. So let's hear your thoughts, man. Let's hear your thoughts on the first game on August 30th versus Texas.
I mean, so obviously extremely excited for it. We got a rematch of the college football playoff semifinal. But you also have a perfect opportunity to throw this game at 8 o'clock at night under the lights in the shoe. It's hot as fuck out, end of August. Get every fucking fan drunk as fuck in that stadium and make it hard for Texas to come to Columbus. But no. Fuck you, Fox. You have to put this game right at fucking noon just to make it easier on them. And then I saw that this week they had come out where, all right, let's propose to put it at Sunday night instead. And Texas denied it. And it's like, no shit. Why would they not deny it? Like, why would they voluntarily go play a game on the road in a hostile environment? Game one. Like, why would they do that? This is a smokescreen for Fox being incapable, complete, brain-dead fucks. Like, you put this game at fucking noon for what reason? It's the same shit that they did last year whenever Michigan or Texas went into Ann Arbor. Like, it's like, why are we, like, in what world does it make any sense? You have a top 5 matchup to put it at a noon kickoff. That game is 100% slotted for as a night game under the lights. Get every fucking fan in that joint drunk as fuck and have the light show, the fireworks, everything. You make that hard as shit on the team that is going on the road. If this was the other way around, you know damn well ESPN is putting that a nighttime kickoff. That's where I stand on it. I think it's
the Oklahoma-Michigan game is at 7:30. And it's at Oklahoma.
Exactly, because it's an SEC school and it's ESPN. It's fucking Fox just being incompetent fucking idiots. And as soon as the Big Ten can get out of that contract, they need to get out of it or negotiate that. We're not doing any of this noon shit anymore. The noon slot is perfect for whenever Ohio State is taking on Marshall and you don't have anything else to fucking air that day. Because that's what they had to do last year.
Yeah.
Or Grambling State, whatever. If you don't have another good game where you just have to throw a big brand like Ohio State and Michigan at noon and they're playing some small school, big noon kickoff. Bring me out fucking Urban. Bring me out whoever else is on that show. Yes, let's do it at noon. Let's just get this shit over with and move on. But whenever there's a top matchup like that, like complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. Fox is the problem, not Texas.
Like I like listening to Gus Johnson sometimes, occasionally, and I really do like Joel Klatt.
He's good. I like Joel Klatt. I like them both. I think they're good.
Yeah, I just don't think this. I think this is moving in towards Texas's favor because I feel like playing at Ohio State at nighttime is a bigger hostile environment than playing at Ohio State at noon. And also like if you think about it, like the recruits that are coming over from the West Coast, like it gives them much like just less time of getting there. Your Friday, or if you want to do like a morning travel, there's going to be some obstacles for them getting there, especially like if they have to leave at like 6 or like 5 in the morning on Saturday morning, or if they leave Friday night and they have to be back on the West Coast by a certain amount of time.
Right.
I think for viewership wise, like you would probably have a higher viewership if this was a primetime game on ESPN or ABC. I mean, I would even choose like a 3:30 kickoff time, on CBS. Like I like CBS much more now, especially since last year or the past 2 years they started covering Big Ten football instead of SEC. And like I enjoy watching CBS more than I do Big Noon. Like it's just
the later.
Yeah, like the later games, like 3:30, or even
the
nighttime
later
games.
the better. The later the better, because that gives fans more time to get alcohol in their system, and that means that the crowd will be louder and rowdier, making it harder on the team that is coming into town. I mean I'm not going to repeat everything you just said because you just said it. Like, you're screwing over all the Big Ten teams. I mean, this isn't just an Ohio State issue. This is a Michigan. This is a Penn State. Like, whoever has fallen by this stupid ass big noon kickoff shit. You're hurting recruits. You're making it harder on the teams that you represent playing those games, hostile environment games at noon. Like, you are doing no favors to anybody. But I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Bring it on, Texas. I mean, other than that, the storylines going into the game are pretty cool. Like, obviously, you have the semifinal game. You got two new quarterbacks, basically. I know Manning has played a little bit, but you're going to have Sand that's coming up. Again, it's Archie Manning. I mean, that's going to be pretty cool. Both very highly touted recruits. We'll get to see them basically for the first time. Get to see Arch basically play a top opponent for the first time. And then from Ohio State's side, like we had a lot of guys go out the door. I think that we have a lot of our main pieces back, which is good. But there's a lot of what I would call like glue guys that aren't there anymore. Parlay that with a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Matt Patricia and Brian Hartline.
I mean, it's get your feet wet game one. I mean, there's no getting into Bowling Green, into Grambling State, and then on to Ohio. Like, it's here comes Texas, one of the teams that has a chance to win it all this year. So you better figure it out quick.
I think Zach Smith was talking about it to like the I think yesterday about the floor and ceiling for Ohio State, or what the identity of Ohio State's offense is going to have to be. And he was kind of talking about how, like, saying doesn't have any, like, comfort room, throughout the schedule. Like, he starts off with Texas, like,
Yeah.
a big game,
Yep.
like the first test. And the first game is the first test for Ohio State, to where, like, he's got to, get kicked in the nuts to kind of, like, make it out there. And it's just going to be a battle for him. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I think that that's the thing with Julian saying, like, the kid's obviously extremely talented. There's as pretty as a ball as anybody, but I think like leadership and like tough mindedness, I guess is the best way to put it, is probably his biggest question marks. And I mean, like Will Howard was solid, but he was nothing special. But he brought that leadership and kind of honestly like that fuck you mentality to the
Oh,
team.
yeah.
And I think that kind of the team kind of shaped that from last year. I think the team kind of rallies around the just the mentality and the personality of the quarterback. And I mean, obviously, we haven't seen much of Julian, but just kind of like whispers that you hear that like he's talented, but when the going gets tough, like how's he going to respond? So we're going to
Right.
find out what Julian's saying is game one. I mean, I'm extremely excited. But yeah, when you talk about a floor or a ceiling of Ohio State, I would say the floor would probably be something like 9-3. Ceiling would probably be 12-0. I personally do not think they're going to go 12-0. As you look into kind of like the rest of their schedule, you have 2 bye weeks. So essentially break this up into two sections of the schedule. You got Texas, obviously, right out of the gate. Um, Two nobodies, go to a bye week. And then I think that second phase, you don't face anybody. You're going to be more talented than all those teams that you're facing there. But I mean, to go on the road to Washington, at Illinois, there, I mean, they deserve some respect. They were a solid football team last year, and they have a lot returning. And then at Wisconsin, I know Luke Fickle's had a little tough go at things there, but Camp Randall, I assume that'll probably magically be a fucking night game, but that won't be any joke. And then you go into the back half of the schedule. Obviously, Penn State at home, they're arguably probably the most talented, most experienced for sure roster in the Big Ten. Um, UCLA, you got Nico coming back in. See if we can crack that dump. See if we can crack that brain dead's fucking helmet again. And then obviously we go up to Ann Arbor, a game we haven't been able to figure out for 4 straight times. So I think the floor's 9-3. I think the ceiling's 12-0, but I don't think that there's any way that they're going to go undefeated. I think that their 3 losses could very easily be a mixture of Texas, Penn State, and Michigan. I know Penn State hasn't beaten us in quite a long time, but I mean they're loaded. Drew Roller's back. They got two of the best running backs um, in the all of college football coming back. But yeah, I mean, I think you break the schedule into 3 phases like that, and that's kind of what you're looking at.
Do you think, do you feel any worrisome for this upcoming season, like compared to 2024? Like, do you have
I
any
wouldn't say
worries?
worrisome, but I wouldn't say worrisome. I probably honestly feel a lot like Ryan Day. Like there's just weight off of our back because it's like we won the national championship. So it's not like we're just like the past few years, it's just like we've been right. Like basically 2022, we were right there. 2023, if we didn't lose to you guys, we probably get in. Who the fuck knows what happens? We have one of the best receivers, one of the best defenses in the country. And then it came to 2024, and it's like, God, like we've had all these years where we're right there, right there, right there. Can't
Yeah.
finish the job. Last year, we finished the job. I just think, like, I'm not worried, but it's just like I feel like there's just weight off of our shoulders. Where if we go and have a 10-2 season, um, I mean, yeah, it'll suck, but with the 12-team playoff, that probably still gets you in. Um, in terms of drawing a line of being worried, I'd be worried if we go like 9-3 and miss the playoffs because then it would go right back to everything in Columbus, Ohio is burning down. Fire Ryan Day, worst fucking coach ever. Um, but No, I mean, I think when you win a national championship, it takes a lot of stress off of people's shoulders. So that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you because like last year as a Michigan fan, going 7-5 and then beating Alabama in the bowl game to go 8-5, like I probably would have been more upset and more furious if we didn't win the national championship the previous year. As frustrating it was watching that entire season, besides like beating Ohio State and beating Alabama, uh, like I think it was like, all right, well, we did something really great the year before. I'm satisfied, but it still sucked seeing your team, play like shit and losing
Yeah.
more than half of, like I think it was what 39 seniors or 39 different players, and then most of the coaching staff going away. And I kind of look at Ohio State and I'm like, the amazing draft that they had, like what 17 players drafted in the NFL draft, and then losing Jim Knowles, losing Chip Kelly, moving Brian Hartline from position wide receiver coach to full-time offensive coordinator, and then like getting Matt Patricia, who's had struggles with the as head coach for the Lions, and then being in defensive position coach for the Eagles. Kind of got his ass kicked out of like Philadelphia. I that's why I kind of asked the question, because like you have a quarterback, Julian Stein, that's coming in there who's hasn't really played much besides like snaps against like Marshall or other like bad teams that Ohio State's blown out last year. I think he got some snaps against Oregon, I believe, because they beat the shit out of them in the Rose Bowl. You guys absolutely butt fucked them. Sorry, Ducks fans. But you got someone coming in for their first game against probably the top 5 team in the year 2025 season, but maybe Clemson and Penn State and then Ohio State. It's going to be interesting. I think if you guys beat Texas the rest of the year, I think you guys will win with ease, besides Michigan. Just because Ryan Day has a Michigan problem. But I think this will be like kind of like the focal point. Like if you guys beat Texas, Grambling State will be a W. Ohio, obviously W. At Washington, as Washington Husky fans, say like, oh, we have one of the toughest stadiums in the Big Ten. Like what, you guys like seat a stadium of like what, 15,000? Like, come on. I mean, it's a big stadium. It is a big stadium. Like I drove past it, a couple weeks ago, and like the sides are fucking huge. And then you see like Mount Rainier in the background and stuff. It looks really cool. But I don't think Washington is beating Ohio State. Minnesota, Illinois, that is, I think, will be another test for Ohio State.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, it is at Illinois and they have most of their starters returning. It's just going to be a really good game, especially if they got like Luke Altmaier coming back. I mean, he was pretty good last year. Illinois did a pretty good job last year. Like what, they were, I think 9-3 at the end of the season, or 8-4. I mean, they did
Something
pretty well.
like that. Yeah, they had a good year. They had a good year for Illinois.
Oh yeah, like they had a pretty good year, and then you guys got to go to Wisconsin, which I think, playing in Wisconsin is always, just a trap in general. And then you guys play in Penn State, which I just don't ever think James Franklin is going to be able to beat Ohio State or Michigan. And then knowing that they got Jim Knowles and Drew Aller came back, Singleton came back, and losing Tyler Warren and still having they have Julian Fleming still. I just don't know if Jim Knowles is going to be able to adjust quickly to beat Ohio State or stop Ohio State's threat, like the outside threats with Colonel Tate and Jeremiah Smith. And then also you guys got new running backs too, like Peoples. And,
Yeah.
Who's the other one? Donaldson.
CJ Donaldson.
Yeah, Donaldson.
CJ Donaldson. He's a transfer from West Virginia. I've heard. I mean, there's been a lot of good talk about him so far, but I mean, it's off-season talk. There's always going to be positives and whatnot.
Right.
But on like the Jim Knowles note, like I think like he obviously runs a spectacular defense, like really fucking good. But I think that his defense, just when you hear like just different people talk about it, sometimes it can be a little difficult for players to learn initially. So I'm hoping, I don't know how much truth there is to that. I've never physically sat down and watched the X's and O's side of his defense and whatnot. Um, but it's kind of a little bit different style defense. Obviously, once he gets his guys going, like it works for him. But hopefully by that point, they're uh, maybe not completely in tune with how their defense is run. Because I mean, if Jim Knowles has his defense humming, I mean they're going to be tough to score on. So,
Oh yeah, that's like I agree with you. Like it takes some time for like Jim Knowles, and then the other day I was in a space with Grim, one of the Oregon fans, and we're kind of talking about Penn State versus Oregon, which ironically it is a night game. They're doing a whiteout there, but they were talking about how like it takes time for Jim Knowles. Yeah, they're doing a whiteout for Oregon Penn State. It's a 7:30 game. And Michigan's first game against New Mexico was a night game on Peacock. Yeah.
Awesome. Love to hear it. Thanks, Fox.
It's comedy. So, but back to Jim Knowles, they were talking about how it takes time for Jim Knowles to adjust. Like if you look at 2022 season, your guys' defense struggled. Like it struggled against fast teams. And I mean, it struggled against Michigan, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then, with the big win against like Utah, or not Utah. Who did you guys play in? No, not Utah, Georgia. That game being 42-41.
Yeah, yep.
Georgia scoring 42
just needed
points.
to stop. You just needed to stop at some point, and you couldn't get it. But then even from there, like 2023, the defense was really, really good. Like it was top 5. I mean, we just like Kyle McCord just was not it. I think that was the issue that year. But the defense was good, and then on to 2024. I mean, he gave us a top 5 defense that ultimately led to a national championship. So we brought him in for 3 years. We got out of him what we wanted. It started off a little slow in 2022, like you noted. But I mean, I think that he showed that he can coach a really good defense at a really high level, and Penn State's getting a good one. But at the same point, it's now you're an op, so fuck you.
If you're James Franklin and if you lose to Ohio State, don't win the Big Ten championship and lose in the playoffs, do you think he's on the hot seat?
I think that the national media headlines will put him on the hot seat. But I don't know how much Penn State will actually like put him on the hot seat. Like, I'm not sure who else they're going to go out and necessarily get that's going to level them up. I mean, obviously, a lot can change in 9 months, let's call it, after the season's over. But I don't know. I mean, he's been pretty successful there. I mean, yeah, it's like he can't beat the big names, and it's also I also understand the point. Well, if not this year, when? Yeah, probably never. But I mean, you're kind of sitting at a 9-3, 10-2 type season. You kick him out and risk start going 7-5, 8-4. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a conversation that'll be heavily had. But yeah, I mean, I think we just wait and see how they do this season. I think that he's got all of his chips in the middle of the table right now. Like this is his year. He's got everybody. They're taking the Michigan and Ohio State route. They've got a lot of experience back, and they're going to try to go win the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it's I kind of agree with you. Like, who else is Penn State going to get? Like, who else are they going to hire? Like, I think we talked about this yesterday, but like, are they going to hire like Matt Campbell?
Probably
like from
not.
ISU. Like, I think As much as like I kind of dislike James Franklin because I think he's kind of a douchebag, especially like way he like kind of banters at fans and stuff, even his own fans.
Yeah.
They did pretty well last year, even like losing 2 games to Oregon and Ohio State, and or losing in the regular season, just losing to Ohio State, and then going to the Big Ten championship and ultimately losing to Oregon. They made it pretty far. They made it to the semifinals, and they were, a couple plays away from going to the national championship and possibly seeing, that rivalry rematch.
They should have gone to the national championship.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I was ecstatic whenever Notre Dame beat them because I would have much rather have played Notre Dame than Penn State.
Oh yeah, dude. They were stacked last year too with that defense.
They were loaded. They were loaded. Yeah, they were loaded.
Their D line was phenomenal last year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be another thing. Like they're going to be replacing some big names on their defense. Like who went to the Giants?
Abdul.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter.
Abdul
He's
Carter.
A freak.
Yeah, that guy's big and he's good and he's fast. And now they have to replace him. So it's going to be interesting to see what Penn State can do this year. And then kind of going further back to the schedule. Like, I can't wait till like you see Nico go to Ohio State again, and hopefully it's cold, and then maybe a helmet will crack or two. But it's gonna be funny just to see that game, Ohio State versus UCLA on November 15th, and then we got Michigan.
Good old Michigan game.
What do you think Ryan Day needs to do to beat Michigan?
Let our athletes be athletes. Don't play the game out of a fucking phone booth like Michigan exactly wants you to play. Like, why did we win for however 10 years or whatever it was? It's because we got our playmakers the ball in space. Like, go back to that 2018 game. How many just crossing routes did we just send our guys on and your guys couldn't keep up? Like,
it's because Don Brown decided to run fucking mid blitzes.
Yeah,
like blitzes.
I still think that we have like a talent advantage at wide receiver to like Michigan's secondary. I don't want to. I think this is probably a whole segment in and of itself, like what's happened the last 4 times. But in short, we'll get into it in another episode. But in short, Ryan Day just needs to let our athletes be athletes and play the game on our terms, not Michigan's terms. I ultimately think that's kind of what's happened the last few times is he's getting us into the I formation. We're getting behind center, running the ball in between the tackles. And that's Michigan's strength. And we played right into your strength and didn't utilize where we had strengths on your weaknesses or where we just would win the matchup battle. But yeah, I think that's what he needs to do. Not shut down his leg and get our athletes the ball in space.
Yeah, it's actually like kind of fascinating because like last year they built up to the game. Like I remember talking to, people on Twitter, everyone's talking shit. Like obviously and right so because Michigan was fucking awful. Like Davis Warren, we had Jack Tuttle and Alex Orji, which some Michigan fans, blindly said that he was the next Cam Newton, and I cackled extremely hard when I heard that. But it just the amount of talent Ohio State had last year, right? And going into that game, hearing my stepbrother telling me that Ohio State's gonna butt fuck Michigan. In which I'm like, that probably is true. That probably is going to happen.
Yeah, probably going to happen. Yeah. Yep.
And then by the second half, my stepbrother's gone. He said, "Peace out. I'm late. I'm out." It was shocking. It was definitely shocking just seeing the end result to that. I just couldn't believe what happened. But that's just kind of those things where like I feel like Ryan Day does shit down his head. Or shit down his leg, and it's like more of a mental game because now Michigan is definitely inside his head. Like it is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he can beat everybody else.
He had a perfect opportunity to kind of put everything like to bed and ultimately didn't. And he's staring five in a row right in the mirror. And I mean, if you're looking back at the schedule, if you're sitting there 9-2 going into that game, like you gotta have it to get into the playoff. Like I'm, to be completely honest, not feeling too confident going into that game because he's shown that he shits down his leg in that game.
Yeah.
Is what it is. He doesn't do it against anybody else. It's literally only a Michigan thing. Everybody else, he's fucking slinging the ball downfield. We're getting the ball to Jeremiah in space. We have a lethal offense that is firing on all cylinders. We're aggressive in our play calling. It's like we get to that game and like we're scared to make a mistake. So
it's
I don't
crazy
know. I
that
just hope
that Jeremiah Smith only had what 47 yards receiving last
they
year
didn't
during
even
the
throw
game.
him the fucking ball. They barely even threw him the ball.
Like Carnell Tate
And then
had a
that's
couple of
like
drops.
And then you had like you always hear about like the meeting that they had the day after. And it's basically like, what the fuck are we doing? Like we have the best wide receiver in the country. Get him the ball. And then you go into the playoffs and it's just like those first two games, it's Jeremiah, 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 Jeremiah. And it's like, why have we not been doing this all year? And why did we not do it against Michigan? But I mean, it is what it is. We won the Natty. Like I don't really fucking care anymore. But I
Yeah.
will care whenever we're staring number 5 in a row and we need a fucking win.
Do you think it is like do you believe that the game doesn't matter anymore because of the playoff system?
No, I think the game will always matter because it's the biggest rivalry in all of college football. I think whenever people say it doesn't matter, it's not like if you lose this, you're not getting in the playoff. But also if you roll into that game 9-2 and then you lose to go 9-3, that ultimately is like you might not get in.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you go into that game with 10 and obviously 11 wins, I mean, you're gonna get in. It matters for like just the rivalry. Like you don't want to sit there and be like, yeah, we've lost 5 in a row to those guys. It doesn't matter as much in terms of getting in the playoff. And when I say it doesn't matter as much, that's just the fact. Like you can get in the playoff at 10-2, potentially 9-3 now. Where in
Right.
the past, like 11-1 was, I mean, shit, like 2023, we won 11-1 and didn't get in. So like that game, it mattered more in terms of postseason play, but it doesn't matter as much in terms of postseason play. But in terms of the importance of the game and having to win the game, like it still matters as much as what it always has.
I actually like that's kind of interesting because like with 2022 with Michigan beating Ohio State 45-23 and then Ohio State making the playoffs on the whim of USC's loss against Utah, right? Like that's playing. We had the opportunity to play Ohio State, play each other in the national championship, and I never wanted that to
so
happen.
bad.
I didn't.
I
No.
wanted that so bad. I wanted to play you guys again so bad because that was one of the best Ohio State teams I've ever seen in 2022, and I wanted you motherfuckers so bad again.
Oh, I'm sure. I just know like whoever wins that game has eternal bragging rights. Like
Yep. Yeah.
you can't say anything else until you beat them again in a national championship. Like you just own that team forever.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
that's like Alabama and Georgia. Like Georgia beat Alabama in 2021 or Alabama beat Georgia in the SEC championship, and then both Georgia and Bama made the playoffs. And then in the national championship, Georgia just dominated Alabama. It was like 34-13.
Yeah.
Like you just have forever the bragging rights. And oh my God, I would fucking delete my account like instantly. Or like just take a break from social media for a couple months. Because oh man, that would suck so much.
If you lost to Ohio State.
If we lost to Ohio State, yeah, I would oh
dude,
my God, I would not talk. I would just like, all right.
Dude, I was talking mad shit the week of the game. Mad shit. Like I was posting shit so much on the timeline. Like, yeah, Michigan's gonna get their ass kicked, yada yada yada. Like I felt you should have seen my mentions after that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just I had no choice but to stand in the pocket and take it. Like, yeah, you beat our ass. But I just kept reverting to have fun in the fucking whatever bowl. Have fun in the Pop Tart bowl.
The tampon.
Yeah,
bowl.
that's the only thing that I could revert to. So I was just like, yeah, that was terrible. It was terrible. Like I donated $50 to Michigan's hospital. By the way, I had a bet with somebody
nice.
on Twitter. I forget who it was, but yeah, they send me mail all the time, and it's just like a nice little monthly reminder. Like,
Yeah.
remember when you got your ass kicked 13-10 and you donated to us? I mean, I'm all for giving money to great causes like hospitals and shit,
Yeah.
but it's like every time I get their mail, it's like, oh yeah, that's why.
My brother goes up for his like annual like MRI up at the U of M hospital, so it's definitely like a nice hospital. But oh yeah, that's I can't. Like I bookmarked so many people during the week of the game, like people just talking shit, saying that Michigan's not going to score more than 7 points. You know, Michigan's not going to beat us. We're going to beat you guys by like 45-13 and so on and so forth. And dude, I didn't have a voice at all Sunday because Saturday I was completely screaming at my TV and just laughing and, you know, just having a good time.
Oh, dude, that had to
Sunday,
have been the funniest fucking thing for you guys. Had to
dude,
have been the funniest fucking thing. I could only imagine.
In Rossford, Ohio, there's a bar called Danny's Cafe, and that place is a huge Ohio State kind of Michigan bar. And when I walked in with my brother and my dad and a couple other friends, it was a funeral. Like Ohio State fans just just sitting there, like doom and gloom, like our season's over, you know. And then I'm a pretty good sport about it unless like someone's a fucking prick and like tries to, you know, ride me up and gaslight me. But you know, I have a lot of Ohio State friends, and you as one of them, you know, I try to be, you know, as respectful and all that stuff. Like I get it sucks, you know what I mean. You own the bragging rights. I'm not just gonna go in there and be like, haha, you guys fucking suck. But
yeah.
It's
it's like a fine
fun.
line. I mean, it's always fuck you. Don't get me wrong. Like it's always fuck you. But it's also like a fine line. Like I'm not gonna sit here and listen or look at shit through fan blinders and just be like delusional about shit. Like I'm gonna try to look at something from like your side or in the middle and like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking talk shit. I'm gonna troll. I'm gonna do this and that. But I mean, there's a line that you should not cross. Some people do. Most don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's always just a small percentage of people that kind of make the other side look worse. But yeah, I mean, don't get it straight. It's always fuck Michigan.
Yeah, fuck Ohio. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Maybe with the new college football 26 game coming out, maybe we can have a little preview of what that'll look like.
Ooh, luckily for you, I pulled it up on the screen. Yeah, I'm incredibly excited for this. I had a feeling that Metallica was going to be in the trailer. For those that don't know and don't see the obvious, I am a huge Metallica fan. You can see James Hetfield is literally on JJ McCarthy in my profile picture. But I saw a bunch of tweets like from Metallica like months ago saying that we're in the game, and I kind of had a feeling that they were going to do the trailer and be the background, and I was like, yes, like I got the fucking chills. I'm like, let's go. And especially that they do the Virginia Tech opening to where like it is a fucking nut house. And Metallica played there a month ago. And
really?
Yeah,
Did
it
they?
looked fucking insane. Yeah.
Damn, that's sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a whole concert there, which was part of their M72 seasons tour. And yeah, the stadium was completely fucking packed. And like in the Jumbotrons that they had the Virginia Tech like Hokie like emblem, and then like at the end, like usually
that's sick.
like yeah, like they'll do like 2 days, like a Friday and like Sunday, and then Sunday they'll either play, you know, Enter Sandman, or Friday they'll play Enter Sandman. And when they played Enter Sandman, the whole stadium just went fucking nuts. because like I'm sure there's like a bunch of college kids that wanted to go and see Metallica, either for their first time or second time in a lifetime. But yeah, I love the trailer. I loved that you get the shout out to to Bryce Underwood. The only good thing coming out of Michigan right now. But yeah, I think it was a good trailer, and I hopefully the game is great and much better improvement of last year, obviously.
Yeah. Are you planning on buying the game, do you think?
Oh yeah. I bought 25 when it first came out, and then I probably have like over 700 hours into 25, and probably
So
like $1,000.
I literally bought a PS5 for that shit. Because I was like, this is my childhood. Like I am not missing out on college football 25 coming back out. Went and bought a PS5. And then I can't remember the amount of hours that I spent that first weekend, like it was live. But I got off work on Friday at like 4 o'clock. And basically from like 4 until like 1 or 2 in the morning. Next day, wake up all day long until 1 or 2 in the morning. Sunday, wake up all day long until probably about 10, 11 o'clock. I played that game. It was insane the amount of hours that I got in.
Oh yeah.
That next the next day at work, like we were all talking about like some of the guys that I work with, like, yeah, did you play the new game this weekend and shit? And they're like, yeah, I did. How many hours did you play? And we were all looking it up. And everybody was like, oh, I played so much. I spent so much time playing it. I looked up my hours and it was like at least double, if not triple, than everybody else's. And that's whenever I was like, oh my God, I was just being a kid again this weekend. But it was awesome. I felt like I was in college again, just like
Oh yeah.
not having to give a shit about anything. My wife's a nurse, so she was working all weekend. So, I mean, she was at work and I was just chilling in front of the TV, just winning some natties.
Just sitting on the couch, shirt off and your underwear, just playing college football at 1 a.m. while your wife comes home, working hard,
Yeah,
grinding away.
I had nobody to impress. I mean, to get a
Hey,
trophy
babe.
doesn't always look pretty.
I respect the grind. You know what I mean? Nah, dude, it was a great game. And it still obviously is a great game. I mean, I played like probably every day. Like I'll play Ultimate Team and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I probably invested like over $1,000 into that bullshit.
Oh
Don't tell
shit!
my wife
So
that.
you're still grinding on that shit then?
Oh yeah, I usually like will play like champs mode, like in head to head in
Okay.
for Ultimate Team. But I do like college football 25 a lot. I think it's better than probably every single Madden that has been released since like 2013. Like it's just a different game, a different atmosphere, and the physics in the game are much smoother than what Madden is. And for some reason, Madden is like too futurist, like kind of cyber. Not it's kind of like a cyberpunk kind of feel to like the way like the layout is, and like college football is that that retro of like the 70s like look to it, to
Yeah.
where like it's the old emblems of like college football and the
Yeah.
NCAA. Like you're in a school.
Yeah.
But
Do you what do you have? PlayStation or Xbox?
I have a PS5.
Damn, dude, we got to play each other then. I didn't know you grinded on that shit every day.
And actually, yeah, we can do a Michigan Ohio State. We can live stream it. That'd be or we can record it. That'd be good.
We should do something like that with I mean, if we both love college football, find a way to live stream some shit. I mean, I always enjoy how we do like the spaces and shit on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, if you could just sit there and talk to people and like play and they can basically watch you play. I mean, I think that sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think you can record straight to Twitter through I think Twitch or YouTube. But I mean, yeah, we could like once we start doing the live streams, for these podcasts, we could get in like if we have time, like an end segment, like we'll just throw a game in there, and we can just play like whatever teams like the randomizer, the 3 times randomizer, or if we want to impress our followers, do Ohio State, Michigan, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's funny because like I had like my Twitter account or whatever, like it was growing a pretty good amount, but like there was always something that I wanted to start doing like aside from just tweeting.
Yeah.
So that was like something I kind of threw out there. Like, what if I just like basically live streamed a game and like people could come in and basically talk to me, or like I could play other followers like on Twitter and shit and like live stream it for people to tune into. Because I mean, you think about like these big ass Twitter accounts that are on there, like if they play college football 25, like it's like, hey, like so and so Ohio Divided is going to go play Michigan Metal like this Thursday night. Like, let's all just hop into the chat. Like, let's watch. And basically, you have two Twitter minds or two Twitter personalities playing each other and kind of just like bullshitting with each other. I think people
Yeah.
would like that.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be a good like watch. Like we definitely have to do that. Like we should definitely get that set up. I think our followers would definitely love that. Um, another thing that I forgot to mention about CFB26 is that there's licensed music in the game besides like Enter Sandman. So I know that for Michigan, they'll do Mr. Brightside in the fourth quarter. So
Oh
that's
shit!
gonna
Don't
be in the
play that
game.
shit in there then.
Yeah,
Don't play that shit in there. That's fucking
yeah.
sweet.
Oh yeah. South Carolina, I think Back in Black
So
by
did
AC/DC.
CFB25 have that?
No. It
That's
had
sick.
it
That's
had
sick.
like
That's a pretty sick featured ad.
yeah, like it had like Fetty Wap and like Guns N' Roses like Welcome to the Jungle, and I think that was it. And then like they had some other like generic like metal like tracks, and like their drum tracks, which news to me, and which I heard about the other day, is that the drum lines that you hear between downs, like third and fourth down, or like
Yeah.
like on third down, like they're actually gonna play like licensed music, like maybe some Black Sabbath or like they like to
Really?
play Iron Man, some
I
Ozzy
like that.
stuff. Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
like
real
that.
cool and
That's
really
gonna go
immersive.
hard. Yeah, that's
And
gonna go hard for sure.
and the game is going to have dynamic lighting, which means that so you know how if Ohio State plays in Columbus at 3:30, as time goes on, the game will the stadium outside gets darker and darker as the sun sets. So this is going to happen in CFB 26, to where you're going to see the lighting effects from all from the sun going down, and you're going to see the change to basically to dusk, which is kind of cool. So it's
So
gonna be
you
pretty awesome.
so you saw like that trailer that you played. So like at the beginning, you can see, I think it's like the Nebraska logo basically like up shining up in the sky and shit. Like, I think that's pretty sweet. Like, that's something new that I noticed. And I went to the Ohio State Tennessee playoff game, and that was the first time Ohio State had did something like that. And it was cool as fuck. I mean, are
Yeah,
those like in real life? Like, you see how like Nebraska like that? It's just like floating in the sky.
yeah.
Is that just like drones and shit that are up there? What is that?
I think it's drones. Yeah.
I mean,
Or
dude, that's wild. Like, it's wild how it can do that.
yeah, it's. I think it is drones. Or I don't know if Nebraska does like any fireworks in any specific order or combustion. But like you can see. I wish I had a pause and effect for this, but yeah, that's drones right there. That's drones too.
Yeah.
You can see like the different lighting, like going from basically to like evening to like sunset, and that's gonna change from like you're gonna have like basically the sun at the highest point at like noon, like going down, and it's gonna be really cool because it's something different like you haven't seen in like college football games before, to where like as the game progresses, so does the atmosphere, in
That's
time,
cool.
and
That's
then
cool.
what's really cool is that we're gonna have some actual coaches in the game, and there's Ryan Day.
That looks nothing like that motherfucker.
I
That
I
looks nothing like it. I mean, they gotta put the bags under the eyes. They don't even have that. I mean, that's a staple to Ryan Day.
I
Although
mean
I will say, since they won the national championship, I do not see those bags under his eyes anymore. But
no
that dude usually has a permanent bags under his eyes.
no stress at all, no stress at all, man. Which is
DJ
funny.
chilling now.
I think the other day when before the trailer released, I posted like a meme like what's the difference between it, and like you had like the uncanny photo of like Sonic the Hedgehog when the first trailer like released, and where like Sonic like looked nothing like Sonic the Hedgehog, and just like a horrible like designed like rendition of Sonic. And then you got Ryan Day, like just looking absolutely nothing like Ryan Day. But it's crazy though, like because Marcus Freeman kind of looks like Marcus Freeman a little bit. Like you can see it.
Yeah, yeah. They gave him the Jim Tressel.
He's got the
What do you
vest.
call it? The vest. Yes, they gave him the Jim Tressel vest. That dude's fucking jacked though. They need to put some more muscle on him. His
Oh yeah,
biceps look pretty big though.
he's a big fucking dude. He would definitely choke you out with his bare
Oh yeah,
hands.
I would not fuck with him.
Yeah. So do we have anything else that we kind of want to chit chat about? Any closing remarks?
I think the biggest thing is, I mean, it sounds like they're changing a little bit of the dynasty mode. It sounds like Road to Glory is going to go back to starting in high school, which when I played, what was it? 2014 was the last game. I always thought that was really cool. Like you start in high school, you can kind of create the high school you start in and work your way up.
Yeah.
That was a part that I kind of missed a little bit, but no, I think that that's awesome. They're adding it in. I also understand whenever you come right back out with the game, like you don't want to give everybody everything because then it's like, what are you going to keep adding as you go? So I think like the main points where they're adding the coaches, Road to Glory is going to be in the high school, or you can start in high school again, and then just refining like the dynasty mode and everything. Um, but no, I other than that, I wasn't very surprised with the cover. Um, I think that I was in a group chat on Twitter with a couple friends, and like a few months back, I said something along the lines of, "If these guys were smart, they would just put the best guys in college football on the cover, Jeremiah and Ryan Williams." Well, here come to find out the other day when it all dropped, that's exactly who it was. So I did not think that EA Sports had the common sense to actually do that. I thought they would just make like Arch Manning or something that is pretty standard in there. So props to them. I'm glad you dropped into my DMs and listened to somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, I think they're not, like you said, like they're not going to spoil as much. I definitely can't wait to play this game. Definitely buying the deluxe edition, to which I have the cover. Let me get rid of Marcus Freeman. Boom. Which we have the cover of. We have Williams and Smith on the left, and then we have the deluxe edition with
There are
a
some
plethora of players.
random people in there.
Oh yeah,
Like, I mean, you got like Tim Tebow, Denard Robinson. I mean, Reggie Bush, like he was like even him. Like, I don't know. It's just some random people that are in there.
yeah. It just doesn't
But
make any sense.
I'm all for it though. Like I love it. College football's back. It's just one of those things that are like common sense with the world. It's like, why in the hell has it not always been like this? But hey, it's back, and we got our second edition coming. Um, with our age and where we're at, it gives us a little insight into like what our lives are like as kids. So I'm all for it.
Right? It's like being in my parents' basement again, being 14 and playing NCAA 2007 or 2006. Ah, nostalgia.
So fun. Shit's so fun.
Um, let's see.
So yeah, obviously the college football CFB26, that shit's going to be fun as hell. I'm excited to play it. I think we definitely should get some of the stuff going that we had talked about, whether it's playing each other, playing other accounts on X and whatnot. But I think that's something that could be really cool. Um,
Oh
but
yeah,
no,
like
I mean,
have like an X, like basically like an X account like tournament on CFB 26. That would be awesome.
that would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. But no, I mean, I guess here we are, Metal. This is our first episode is complete.
Woohoo!
It's been a lot of talking and shit in the background. I mean, we've talked to each other numerous times on the phone. Um, Can't lie. At first, it was a little weird, just like texting a random guy at one point. I'm just kidding, but no, it was like, yeah. I think pretty early on, we realized just after like one or two conversations on the phone, like we have some pretty good conversation. We can connect with each other pretty well. So
Some
I'm
natural
sure we're gonna have
chemistry
some. Yeah, yeah, kind of like Joe and Jamar. You know what I mean?
there.
But
Who are
no,
they?
I mean,
I'm kidding.
oh, you know who
Who
they
they?
are. You know
Yeah,
who
who
they are.
they? Is that how it goes? Who they?
Who they? But no, I'm sure we're gonna have some bumps in the road and whatnot. Like we'll fuck up here, fuck up there, and whatnot. But I mean, that's ultimately like what you're good at. You're good at fixing my fuck ups. So I can say whatever it is and screw up as much as I want, and you're ultimately the driver of this that can go in and fix it all. So,
That's
but
good.
no, I mean, this has been a fun first episode. Like I look forward to all of them from here on out. Um, what did we decide? Like in terms of frequency of the pod, like Thursdays, I think is our plan to start recording them.
Yeah, so record them Thursday, and then eventually in the future we are going to start live streaming this stuff on YouTube, and other podcast
Yeah,
platforms like Spotify, Apple, and I don't even know if you can do live stream on Apple,
yeah,
but I
I'm
know
not
you can do it
sure.
on
Oh,
YouTube and Twitch.
you can definitely find us. So I've got a Spotify account set up. I've got a YouTube account set up. Once we get this all posted and whatnot, I'm going to get it out to those platforms. I'm going to get it out to Apple as well. I think that those three are kind of what we're going to start with is YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. But beyond that, I think our goal is just what we've talked about is by the time football season comes, we want to start doing some live shows. I think just after like big games, like just emotional, like authentic emotions and interactions and after a game. I think that that would be really cool. And I think for the next few months and whatnot, we're just going to try to hone this in and kind of see what works, what doesn't work. But with the goal of by college football season, um, I think that I'm hoping this will take off and we can go live shows. Obviously, we are in May 30th today. Um, we don't anticipate or don't plan on talking college football every single episode, banging our head against the wall that Bryce Underwood's throw looked really good today and all of that kind of thing. Um,
Like,
but
oh,
we've got some
divided. He threw a sidearm throw. He looked really good. Like, it was pretty awesome.
looked amazing. Looked amazing. He's going to be the best ever. We're going to sit here and talk about how he's the best ever for an hour and a half. No, we're not going to do any of that
He's
shit.
the best
Oh.
I've ever seen. He's huge.
Got a little Donald Trump making a splash into the show today.
I was trying.
But no, I mean, we I think our plan for this is like we want it to be like college football focused, but we also want to just talk about cool shit like we said at the beginning. So yeah, I mean, we have some topics lined up down the road that we want to talk about and get into a little bit further. But hey, Metal, here we are. This is a good first episode, I think.
It was
We'll
very
post it.
productive. Very brain
We'll
dead.
post it. Yes, always very brain dead. We have plenty of brain deads out there. Fuck all the brain deads.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, people could say it sounds like shit, but I mean, I don't really care. Just keep coming up with topics, talk about it, and go from there. The funny part is, I will add, we did have 3 topics to talk about here, but our conversation just kept going and kept flowing for so long, we only got to 2 of them. So that'll be something that we'll continue to gauge and learn, I think, as we go.
Hoo-yah. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, subscribe. Also, make sure to give us a follow on Twitter, at Buckeye Natty and also at Metallica or Metallica, or you can just look up Michigan Metal. But yeah, that was a good and fun hour and a half, and I can't wait to get back to it next week. And I hope to see everyone and argue with every fucking idiot out there on Twitter during the week. So enjoy.
All right. Thank you all. Please like, please subscribe. The Middle Ground Podcast.